It's another joyful weekend, and we are so happy you have joined us for more important information from our half-hour journey inside Jamaica Magazine, packaged for you today. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. On the pages, see how government plans to finance activities within the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce in this new fiscal year. Get health-wise and learn how some foods relate to inhibition or worsening of cancer. Plus, see how farmers are connecting with the marketplace through information and communications technology. Sit back and relax with us for these and more exciting features packaged for your viewing pleasure.
Without a doubt, tourism is Jamaica's #1 industry, and our dedicated workers are its greatest asset. Jamaica would not be the heartbeat of the world without you. As the industry rebounds from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, we truly need all hands on deck, yours included. Vaccination holds the hope for tourism's full recovery. In addition to COVID-19 protocols, it is the only comprehensive way to fight the pandemic and save lives. I am therefore urging every worker in the tourism and hospitality industry, in all the subsectors, including accommodation, attractions, entertainment, transportation and craft, to do your part and get vaccinated. Do it for yourself, your family, your workplace, and your community. Do it for Jamaica, land we love. Stay safe. Get vaccinated.
Industry and commerce are enabling sectors for economic growth and wealth creation. Government continues to finance key activities to facilitate such a goal. Let's break down the expenditure plan for the current financial year.
My ministry is committed to our role as business enablers. We like business. We like fair business, hence the Fair Trade Commission. We like consumers to be treated fairly, hence the Consumer Affairs Commission. We want businesses to thrive, hence the enabling and facilitation which this ministry will do.
To achieve this mission, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce's work in the 2022-2023 fiscal year is supported by a budget of $4.7 billion in recurrent expenditure. The ministry is also projected to earn $425 million. An additional $710 million is available for special development projects. The largest portion of the recurrent budget, $781.3 million, will cover central administration, policy planning, and development within the ministry. Other notable expenditure include approximately $20 million to upgrade the ministry's ICT infrastructure. $10 million is also set aside to pursue ISO 9001 certification activities. Another $10 billion will see to the operationalization of the Technical Regulations Unit at the Bureau of Standards, Jamaica.
We want investors to invest in creating goods and services, agro-processing, legal services for the financial services industry.
Government will be facilitating continued industrial development and regulation to the tune of over $1.4 billion. $517 million of this allotment will help to support and develop the medium, small and micro-enterprise sector through the activities of the Jamaica Business Development Corporation JBDC. It includes money to continue implementation of the Essential Oils Incubator Project, support the operations of small business development centers, cover local consultancy fees for implementation of the National Craft Policy, and enhance the export capacity of micro and small agro-processors. The Cannabis Licensing Authority is budgeted $312.8 million in support of its work to develop that industry. The ministry is also budgeting $605.8 million to protect businesses through the activities of entities such as the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office and the Anti-Dumping Commission. The Program of Consumer and Public Protection is getting over $647 million. This will support the work of the Consumer Affairs Commission, the Fair Trading Commission, the Food Storage and Prevention of Infestation Division, and the Hazardous Substance Regulatory Authority. Strengthening trade promotion and development is another major focus for the ministry, reflected in the $1.8 billion earmarked for this activity. This will cover trade facilitation and regulation activities, improving the ability of service providers, manufacturers, and agricultural producers to effectively engage in international trade, build global relationships to drive investment and exports, and providing investment and export promotion services to key markets. $649 million is also budgeted to finance the work of the Special Economic Zone Authority, and the Jamaica International Financial Services Authority is getting $59.7 million for marketing and promotion of foreign direct investment in the specialized field of international financial services.
But Jamaica has bright minds, plenty of entrepreneurial spirit, a qualified workforce, and capital available on competitive terms.
With further funding from the Inter-American Development Bank, over $710 million will be spent to continue development of the global services sector in Jamaica. This will involve upskilling the workforce and increasing the capacity to attract foreign direct investment. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, creating a gateway for business in Jamaica.
Various factors can influence our health, including the food we eat. Up next, we're exploring how our nutrition can either inhibit or worsen the growth of diseases such as cancer.
We must exercise. We must seek to eat the right portions of the food groups that these studies have shown are important to a healthy body. And healthcare in Jamaica, I think, needs to shift somewhat away from the challenges of curing ailments to the challenge of preventing.
And as Jamaica moves to balance its disease prevention interventions with the curative aspects of healthcare, Jamaicans must explore the role that the foods we eat can play. Nutrition does play a role, both as a risk factor and as a tool for managing diseases such as cancer.
Essentially, cancer occurs whenever one of the cells in the body decides that it's going to misbehave and not listen to any instructions at all. And so it just grows and grows and grows and doesn't listen to the regular body signals to say, this is how you should behave. So it's really a misbehaving cell which proliferates and grows and it then becomes a misbehaving tissue.
And what you eat or not can make a difference in how your body's cells behave.
The fundamental control systems in your body are all chemicals. And therefore, the chemicals that you put in your body comes from food. So if there is any mismatch or which can occur, one can end up with having what we call a risk of cancer.
Doctors say that a typical diet for most Jamaicans, with its huge servings of starchy foods like rice, flour, yam and banana, with only small amounts of vegetables, does not provide the healthy benefits that can come through a diet. Instead, doctors suggest eating more fruits and vegetables rich in fiber and antioxidants, and fresh foods high in calcium and vitamin D. Fat-related chemicals are among those that tend to promote cancer, so diets that are high in fat create more of a predisposition to the disease. Alcohol can also have a negative impact.
We say you should not smoke. We also say that you should not consume alcohol if at all possible. The equivalent of an ounce a day is perhaps the limit that we'd allow.
Of course, there are other things not in our foods, found in our environment, which can cause you to get cancers, including toxins such as asbestos. But our focus here is on the role of what we consume, particularly processed foods, which doctors agree should only be eaten in minimal amounts. Some processed meats, for instance, have been linked to things like the propensity to develop colon cancer. To lower the risks, nutritionists recommend fresh meats that are broiled, baked, or steamed to get rid of the excess fat. Nutrition is seen not only as a means of prevention, but also part of the treatment for diseases such as cancer. Patients with cancer are often given specific nutrition interventions as part of their treatment regimen.
So apart from the specific surgical procedure you may have, or the radiological procedure that you may have, radiotherapy, or even the chemotherapy that you may have, nutrition also plays a role in you surviving your therapy.
In striving for a healthy lifestyle, which includes eating well, it's important to maintain physical and mental fitness. Fit individuals engaging in physical exercise at least 3 times per week are more likely not to have any of the chronic, non-communicable diseases such as cancer.
You should engage in at least 3 bouts of physical activity, at least 30 minutes for the day, moderate walking at minimum or the equivalent. You should have to be as stress-free as possible, and you should aim to achieve your ideal body weight. So those factors would generally lead you to what we consider to be a healthy lifestyle, which will tend to protect you not only from cancers, but also other cardiovascular diseases like diabetes and hypertension.
Disease prevention should be our priority. So let's all make our food our medicine and our medicine our food. It's everybody's business.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep
eat.
we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Farming is good business, and it's best when all stakeholders in the business are seamlessly linked.
Many times we have so many things that we can't sell. We have, because sometimes all the farmers goes out and plant Irish potatoes, and it's too much. So what we do, we just use the phone, same place in the field, get to them, and they try everything, and they know it. Before them, we only have spoilage. We can't sell. So no matter how it glut in the whole highland, they find a way to unload it.
Bye-bye farm produce glut. Alex is here to move farmers' produce onto the plates of visitors to our shores.
The Agri-Linkages Exchange Center, good afternoon.
It's not my...
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. What are you doing? Okay. So what do you have reaping now?
We have a portion of corn ready, you know.
Is that sweet corn? Okay, sir. Let me just add that to the database for you. How much corn are you reaping?
We have 12 dozen corn ready, you know.
What's the selling price? 120 per dozen.
So you can look the buyer for me anytime you're ready. You hear, boss?
Another problem, Mr. Willis. I'll post the information for you, and once the market is available, I'll give you a call and let you know. All right, Mr. Willis, thanks for calling.
As easy as that, farmers are reaping economic benefits through tourism. The Agri-Linkages Exchange is an electronic platform where buyers and sellers of agricultural produce meet. Currently, there are agri-brokers who manage the platform. They operate from the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, St. Andrew office. It's a collaboration between the Ministries of Tourism and Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. The center has raked in more than $50 million in sales for approximately 400 farmers across the country.
This program is dedicated specifically to the farmers, and what we were trying to solve was the fact that a number of our hotel, especially our hotel purchasing personnel, had difficulty getting produce that was in season, out of season, or even where they were located. So you'll find that particular fruits that will be in abundance in the eastern end of the island never ever gets to the west, and vice versa. For example, mangoes. Mangoes are very abundant in the east, and again the west would love to have some of the fruits that we have in abundance at one place. So the Agri-Linkages Exchange platforms would have been a link to ensure that both buyers and sellers meet. At this point, we have 55 hotels on it. We have several agro-processors. We have about 5 retail operators, but the retail are really large personnel. And each day is another day in which persons are added.
I was at a production and marketing meeting in my community where we were discussing gluten, where we can unload our produce. So one of the RADA extension officer recommended us to Alex. I just get my phone, get registered, and that's it. Since Alex, we have more in demand than supply. It's been so good for us, trust me.
There are farmers who might not be technologically savvy to actually go on the system themselves, so they'll call into the center and ask, and these agro-brokers will be able to put them on the system.
On a daily basis, I would say we get from maybe 20 calls per day or so from farmers. A lot of the calls that we do get, surprisingly, are farmers who are new to agriculture. They are curious about what Alex is about. Persons are now realizing that technology, agriculture, and production can all mix.
We supply and deliver produce, fruits, vegetables to hotels and restaurants. It's about 10 hotels that we supply on a weekly basis. Hotels that we supply, it's from small to large hotels. We found out about the Alex Center through a farmer. It is a very good initiative.
On a daily basis, we probably make contact with 20-30 buyers on behalf of our farmers, and they themselves, the buyers do call the center. Buyers request varied amount of quantity per produce depending on what the usage is. If it's for agro-processing or export, the volumes will range from as small as a small agro-processor may need 80 pounds of sorrel or 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds, but then you have an exporter who will need 10,000 pounds of sweet potato, 15,000 pounds of pumpkin, 20,000 pounds of other produce. So the volumes vary depending on the usage. We walk with the farmers and we stay with them until the transaction is completed, until they're paid, until the goods are delivered.
Our hotels are interested in buying local produce. There's really no substitute for the produce that we actually produce here. If you were to import any of our grown provision, it wouldn't taste the same. And therefore, there's really no incentive for the hotels to be purchasing overseas. What we have not had from our local industry is exactly where it is and in what quantities. And Alex has been able to solve that mischief somewhat.
It's simple, man. Just get the phone or come down to the RADA where the office is, register with Alex, and that's it.
The environment is important for maintaining ecological balance and general health and well-being. An important partnership in this is bearing fruit out west as organizations partner to protect the Negril Great Morass ecosystem in Westmoreland. Follow us to find out more on this piece of nature's treasure.
Do you know which wetland is the second largest to be found in Jamaica? Here's a hint. It spans the parishes of Hanover and Westmoreland. It houses the West Indian whistling ducks and the royal palm. If you guessed the Negril Great Morass, then you're correct. Today on Western Roundup, we head to Westmoreland, where we look at efforts by the Integrating Water, Land and Ecosystems Management in Caribbean Small Island Developing States IWECA project to restore and preserve the Negril Great Morass. If you're a lover of the environment, stick around.
The Negril Great Morass is the second largest wetland in Jamaica and one of the largest natural coastal wetland ecosystems in the Caribbean. Through the National Environment Planning Agency NEPA, Jamaica's national sub-project under the IWECA project focuses on this wetland and its restoration and preservation.
The project aims to achieve several things, mainly the hydrological restoration of the Negril Great Morass. In the past, canals were put in to drain the morass, and that changed the ecosystem services provided by the area. So the main aim is to restore the hydrology.
Since the implementation of the project, which commenced in 2018, several activities have been undertaken aimed at achieving the project goals.
So the project will meet these goals through the implementation of various activities, chief of which is a lot of baseline studies are being conducted now, one is to determine the method that we use to restore the hydrology, which is to re-wet or rehydrate the morass. Others include a wetland assessment of other wetlands within the Negril EPA, and now there's also population assessments of the West Indian whistling duck, which can be found at the reserve here where we're at.
These activities have been made possible through partnerships with agencies such as the Negril Area Environmental Protection Trust, NEPT, and other local stakeholders that have given their wave of approval and support for the project.
It has been a very interesting experience. This is a project that has been long in the making, especially addressing long-standing issues. So we are quite pleased with a number of the consultancies that has been executed, especially that relating to the hydrological surveys, given that the drying out of the morass, in particular the forest fires that result from the drying out of the wetland, understanding what kind of solutions will be presented is one of the things that I find most interesting and intriguing.
Very happy that the IWECA project is finally, taking place. This is something that we've been advocating for many years. Negril's environment and ecosystem is critical to the tourism product that we offer here. So we, the Negril Chamber and other stakeholders have been pushing for the preservation of the ecosystem.
Local farmers have also joined forces with the team to ensure best practices are being utilized on their farms.
It was a very enlightening venture, because a lot of us farmers, we do not really practice. We used to practice best practice when it comes to farming. We also, sometimes we just, when we get overwhelmed with the bush, we just cut and go through. We learned now that the burning in the morass, where the bush is concerned, is not good. So we have to eliminate as much as we can any form of burning. Use less pesticide, just the same, because it also contributes to the environmental bad practices.
So as the project progresses and stakeholders look toward the finish line, they wait with great anticipation the successful outcomes of this project.
Our greatest expectation is that there would have been the capacities of the organization within the area built to further sustain the results from the project.
Part of the IWECO project is the re-wetting of the morass. And that's the part that we're anxious to get to, where the water levels in the morass will be raised back to what it was in the past. And that will help greatly in our ecosystem. What has happened by the draining of the morass is that more of the nutrients from the morass is being sent out into the bay, into Long Bay, which is where our 7 Mile Beach is, and it is affecting the reefs and so forth. So if that is changed, then there will be less pollution in the bay, and therefore our reefs will hopefully recuperate, and it will protect the shoreline.
We have learned a lot about the usage of the greenhouse farming, which the farmers are very excited about. It's hard to do this seedling because of the heap of rain and all this kind of stuff. So the greenhouse farming, we understand, can yield a lot right through the year, and at the same time, less resistance from pests and rodents and stuff like that. So we really think that is a very good venture, and the farmers are really excited about it.
The 5-year project was launched in November 2018 and is being funded by the Global Environment Facility (GEF) through the United Nations Environment Program (UNEP), with support from the government at a combined cost of $13 million. We hope you enjoyed the program, and we encourage you to do whatever you can, wherever you are, to protect the environment. As usual, thanks for joining us for Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Remember to send your feedback to jismobe@jis.gov.jm. Until next time, take care.
We've come to the end of our journey inside Jamaica Magazine for today. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another show. Until then, there is more to watch on our website, jis.gov.jm, or YouTube channel. Also, check out all the major social media platforms and our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you that COVID-19 is still a keep. So get vaccinated and wear your mask, wash your hands and sanitize regularly. Till next time, keep safe.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.